want to see. Vainglory claims to be that game that pays attention to their community. So let's talk about it. Welcome into the queue, everybody. I am Belligerent, and today's episode is the result of communication on Twitter. One of my listeners decided to get into this big old post and asked for feedback on what he had to say. And I love when people, respond on Twitter, communicate with me on Twitter, things like that. I tell you this all the time, so I want to hear it. But when you do it, you also risk becoming the subject of another podcast. Sometimes you'll like the answers, sometimes you won't. Sorry, that's just the way it is. So let's get into this. This is from a big thread from spiritsmaker_VG on Twitter. Okay, and he has a list of, I want to say it's 7. Where's the number? 6, 7, 8, 9. Actually, it looks like 9, maybe 10 things. And so we're going to go through this list. I'm going to give my response, my feedback, my thoughts, and we'll make an episode of it. And we want to hear what you have to say. So send us your thoughts, your responses, and we're just going to use it. Not that I really believe that anybody at SCMC ever listens to my podcast, but we're going to use it as a way to talk to them, tell them what we want, because they say, and I agree, that SCMC is one of the better game developers at listening to the community and what the community wants. So the first one on his list is one that I just touched on in my last episode as far as Arena of Valor being better than VG, and that's the UI. The user interface is a mess in regards to functionality. Visually, it's great. I like the dark theme, but some prefer otherwise. To make it more functional, make things smaller so there's less scrolling. I don't want 3 chests or 1 holiday chest to take up the whole screen. Use pop-ups instead. Increase the font of the guild members list. Add leaderboards, global, regional, and tier. Add custom builds. Add top builds via API. So things like that. That's what you just heard were kind of his words verbatim. So now let's break that down and go through that a little bit. Okay, I totally agree as far as the UI is a mess. Like I said, I already covered that. I do agree on things being smaller so there's less scrolling. I don't need all of the nonsense that goes along with the in-game marketing as far as what chests and which deals are available and what things like that. It's too big. I don't need it. I really don't. And on top of it, I don't really need so many things to interact with, right? Like the daily chest. I miss the daily chest. I don't need 2 chests every 3 hours. I mean, that might be nice for new players. I'm not a new player. Most of the stuff that comes out of the daily chest is irrelevant for me. But I got to open them because the little numbers that pop up showing me how many things are in the market drives me crazy. Okay, but, I don't know. One button to open up everything, reduce it back to, 1 chest that has twice the amount of stuff in it, something like that. But there's just too much cluttering up the screen, and they're too big, okay? It doesn't need to take up a whole entire screen. I agree with him on that one. Let's see. I don't like pop-ups because pop-ups are like, oh my God, let me tell you. After a match, when I have like 4 different pop-up screens that I got to go through, how much fame you get, how much this, how much that, how much, da-da-da-da-da. I want one screen I can click, okay, go. Continue. I get to see all my stats and all of the fame that I earn and all of that shit. I don't need, the fame screen is an entire screen because 95% of that image is like this big giant banner. I don't give a damn. Show me how much fame I got off of the match in just a little bar, and then couple that with how much glory I got and stuff like that. The after game screens and all the pop-ups are aggravating as hell. I don't want pop-ups like he suggests, but something needs to be done to better use the real estate that we have in this game. Increase the font in the guild members list. That to me, I don't care because I don't have any problem reading the font that it is now. If you increase the font, you're doing the exact opposite of what you said in the last point as far as making things smaller, so there's not as much scrolling. If you make the font larger, it's going to make the list bigger. You're going to have to scroll more. I rarely look at guild member list. In fairness, I'm not as huge into guilds as other people might be. Leaderboards, I don't need. I understand that other people would like them, and that's fine. If you want to put leaderboards in, I wouldn't be opposed to that, but I don't need leaderboards personally. To me, it's just a chest-pounding contest. I don't care how much elo you have. I don't care how much elo I have. To me, leaderboards are useless, and I like them being on the API sites because then the people that want them can go look at them there. I don't need it cluttering up my game experience because I don't want it. Add top builds that I would like, as long as we get the ability to customize builds. Okay, because if we can't do custom builds, then I don't need top builds. But he has add custom builds and add top builds. To me, custom builds far more important than the top builds. But I like top builds. I like pro builds. I like popular builds. All of that stuff. But what we have now is not adequate. What we have now are suggested builds based on what the devs do, and it's locked in, and you get 3 choices. And again, it's just clutter. I don't need that. I want my builds, not your builds, my builds, to be able to just auto buy. Okay. So next on the list, all in-game currency should be visible on all screens in the menu. I agree with that there. Social networking integration needs to be implemented. Again, I wouldn't complain about it, right? Like, I know a lot of people use their social media for a lot of things. I don't need that. I don't care. I'm not going to use it. Especially the only time that social media integration for me is good is when I can use it to sign in with just the click of a button. But Vainglory keeps you logged in basically forever. So I don't care about social networking integration. I'm not going to tweet stuff. I'm not from the game. I'm like, hey, look at this score. I don't care. In-game communication, you totally lose on this one, bro. We don't need more in-game communication. It's already toxic enough. It's already troll enough. This is a personal thing for me. I understand a lot of people want it, and if you want it, hey, that's great. I'm not going to help push for this. I'm not going to help support it. I won't be mad if they put it in there. It'll just be one more thing for me to mute. Half the time I end up muting people's pings, so I really don't want their voices. Arena of Valor has in-game communication as far as voice chat and stuff, and that's always muted for me. I even went into the settings and turned off the chat because I don't want to see what people have to type. People are just fucking toxic. So the only time I want to communicate with people is if I'm playing in a whole entire group of people, right? If I'm in a party, and then I'll do that through Discord. I personally don't need in-game communication. To be honest, Vainglory already kind of struggles with lag and stuff like that. And now if it's trying to process voice communication and chat communication, it's just probably going to lag more. I don't want more in-game communication. I think that what is there is adequate to communicate if you're, if you have half common sense, okay? To me, and in my opinion, the only people that want voice chat are the people that really just want to cuss out the guys that are acting the way that they don't think they should be acting. That's just me. Because that's all I see on text too. Like in games like Arena of Valor or any other games that I've played, when it gives you the option for voice or text chat, all it is people being toxic, even more toxic because they're not limited to just what the game will let you say, right? Like the question mark ping with Vainglory. Everybody knew, like, there was even a video. A question mark ping was supposed to be indicating that you don't know where the hero, like if you're the carry up in the lane and the enemy carry has disappeared, you ping the question mark, meaning, yeah, I don't know where he's at. Did anybody use it for that? No, not once ever in my experience did anybody use the question mark ping for what it was. Everybody used it to be toxic, basically saying, what the fuck are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? Why did you do that? What are you doing? And that's all that voice chat and text chat is going to be. It's just going to be more toxicity. So I don't support more in-game communication whatsoever. There's plenty of it, in my opinion. That's all I need. Number 3, I need better AFK/troll detection regardless of whether any game has it or not. If a person buys infinite scout traps, takes infinite turret shots, or moves around doing 0 damage, it should be detected and action should be taken. All right, look. People just need to get over this. Seriously. I have heard this trolling stuff for probably the better part of a year now. Get over it. I don't care what game you play. I don't care if it's Call of Duty. I don't care if it's Vainglory. I don't care if it's Arena. I don't care what game you play. If it's online multiplayer type stuff, there's going to be trolls and there's going to be dumbasses. And everybody just needs to get off of this idea that the developers can create this like artificial intelligence that can monitor what the people are doing and punish them for being trolls. Just get over it, okay? Just let it go, drop it, stop asking for it. And here's the other reason I'll say stop asking for it. And it's not that I'm necessarily telling you that you're wrong for the desire to get trolls out of the game. I'm not saying that you're wrong for that. I would be shocked if you could find any player outside of possibly somebody on the dev team whose name glows in blue so everybody knows they're a dev. I would be shocked if you could find any player that has played this game for 6 months or more and hasn't had a moment of troll and hasn't had a moment of being dumb. Everybody has done it at some point in time. But on top of that, we want these things added to the game from SEMC. Okay. On the list of all the things that you could want for them to put in the game and fix about the game. And I know. Before I say this, everybody is going to go, no, getting rid of trolls would be on the top of my list. Shut up. There are so many things on this list that are far more important than AFK and troll detection. Just get over it. It's part of the game. You're going to have to deal with it. You will absolutely 100% never get rid of it. I don't care what SEMC does. I don't. They're never going to get rid of it. People will find new ways to do it. Okay? People will find different ways to do it that skirt around any type of programming that they could put in there. When they first brought the LPQ system in, oh my God, was that so broken. And this is what will happen if anybody ever talks SEMC into trying to do this AFK troll detection stuff. Okay, we're going to have another one of these. So when they first put the LPQ system in, this, swear to God, this is a true story. Okay, I AFK'd once, I think because I got pissed off or something. I AFK'd. I got LPQ. I think it was whatever it was, 30 seconds, 3 times at 30 seconds or something like that. Then during one of those LPQ times, swear to God, I'm not exaggerating. I'm not lying. I'm doing something and my battery dies. So now when I come back, I got 2 minutes of LPQ for 5 times. And the timing and the numbers of how many might be off, I'm trying to show a point, okay? So I start going back through that, finally get that all cleared up. But you know what? That wasn't good enough. And then the next time, shortly after I get all the LPQ cleared off, I'm playing, and somebody comes to my door. I'm an adult. I got to stop. I got to answer my door. I got to deal with what's going on my front door. Now I come back, and it's like 6 times at 5 minutes apiece. Like, it was so broken. So let's just let go of the troll detection stuff. It's part of the game. It's part of any game you play that has online multiplayer involvement. Everybody will do it. Let it go. Let it Go. There's more important things to fight for. Number 4, I feel that we need more non-humanoid heroes using non-traditional weapons. This, again, is something that I mentioned in my last podcast. I would like to see a greater diversity of heroes from SCMC. How? I don't know. I'll leave it up to them. Look at some of the other games. Look at some of the cool characters that they have. I'm going to leave that up to them. Because when you say non-humanoid heroes, it could simply be like, Lorelai's non-humanoid, Flicker's a non-humanoid, Fortress is a non-humanoid, Ozo, Scarf, things like that. So they could say, well, we already have that. That's, when I was making that point, that's not what I was getting at. I was getting at just kind of I said it in the last podcast, I don't even know how to explain what I'm looking for. I just know what I'm looking for. But yes, I think we need more diverse heroes. So we'll just move on from that. Regarding talents and Brawl, I know you guys wanted to create a fun environment and made this, but you introduced ranking while there are certain things that are OP. Try having 2 queues to include more people having different mindsets in them. See, everybody says this, I don't know. And I even said it in my last podcast when I came back from Arena of Valor to Vainglory just recently. I made the switch back. Talents were kind of rubbing me the wrong way. It could have just been the mood I was in. I generally love talents, and I generally love the Brawl modes. When I say that, I mean Battle Royale. I hate Blitz, and I hate Onslaught. But I like the Brawl modes for people that want something different and want something shorter. We really don't, is it that important? We really don't need 2 different queues for people who want talents and people who don't. That's not an argument I'm going to put energy into. I just leave it the way it is. If you don't like it, go play casual, ranked, or practice or something. Because again, I don't want to argue against talents, and I don't want to argue for a different queue for talents and no talents, because doing things like that, in my mind, kind of, it like stymies what they're trying to do, right? SCMC is trying to give us new cool stuff. That's what the talents were. It was an attempt to give us some new cool things, and I don't want to deter that. So they tried. I personally like it. There are lots of people that like it. I'm not going to put energy into that. There are more important things to try to get into. Regarding visual skill tier resets, I think this needs to be done periodically at a fixed time rather than here and there, varying the amount of skill tiers you drop. Make it consistent and constant. People will be less salty of this when leaderboards come through too. Here's what I think. I don't want resets at all. I don't. What's the point? So, nobody can tell me what the point of a visual reset is. Nobody. There is 0 point. If you it gives people something to work for. No, it doesn't. It gives people something to redo their efforts. If somebody was Vainglorious Gold and they get reset back to POA, guess what? They still have the skill of Vainglorious Gold. They earned that. One season, I earned my way up. The highest I've ever been was SA Silver. 8 Silver. That's the highest that I've ever been in Vainglory. They reset me down, and guess what? I haven't had time to rank since then, but you know what? I feel less motivated to go rank because of how much work somebody like me, who's not a pro, who's not a mechanical genius, all the work I had to put in to get up that high, and then you go, none of that matters. You're back down to 6 now. I hate visual skill tier resets. You just erased everything I worked for. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. Just get rid of resets. We don't need it. It doesn't change anything. And if you really need a reset to motivate you to go out there and compete and try for something, I don't even know what to say to that. You put in all this work and all. It's like if you go to the beach with your kid and they build this amazing sandcastle. They're 6 years old, but they have this mind that makes this amazing, enables them to build this amazing sandcastle. And they're like, Mom, Dad, brother, come look at what I did. Look. And you walk over there and this amazing sandcastle. And you're like, oh my God. And you snap a picture of it with your phone and then you kick it over with your foot and go build it again. That's what a visual skill tier reset is. I hate them. All right, number 7. I feel that the end of the season rewards for grinding to higher levels and level 50 should be increased so that people are more enticed to spend their time to get there in the first place. Yes and no. I can see both. I remember at the end of last season, when the most recent season changed, my girlfriend comes to me and goes, "This is all I got for reaching level 50." Which, in fairness, it was like 2 legendary cards and some opals and glory or whatever. And I said, well, you know what? If you think about how hard it is to find a legendary card in a box, that's a pretty significant reward, especially when you get 2 of them. If you think of how much essence it takes to craft a legendary card, that's a pretty significant reward. Okay, for those of us that have all of the skins and heroes, it doesn't feel like much. But if you're somebody like me, there's nothing in the game that I don't have except for Rhyme Santa Claus skin, because I have opals and I'm waiting for them to convert it into opals instead of spending ice. So when you think about it that way, like, these rewards they give at the end of the season are fairly significant. Unless you've been in the game a lot and you have most of the stuff, then they're not all that significant. But if you look at it, take yourself out of the equation and look at what you're getting, they are actually significant. And let's not forget that throughout the course of the season, making your way around that wheel, that 50 level sunlight thing, you're getting rewarded the entire season for that. So you're getting all of that plus an additional payout at the end of the season. I don't think you need more, personally. What I would like to see is it to go beyond 50. Like, if I reach 50, reset it, let me go through it again, because in all but except for this last season, I maxed out at level 50 with like 60 days of the season left. So give me more to work for. I don't necessarily need more rewards. The chat needs to search for your friends list, emoji support if possible. I don't care about that. I don't use chat really. What I would like is if somebody leaves me a message and I miss it, I don't want like this mysterious 1 floating around. Put it up at the top, even if they're logged off. Put it up at the top until I check it. That's what I would like for the chat, because I hate trying to find these mystery messages that people leave me. But search for friends list and emoji support. Maybe I just don't have very many friends, so I don't know. Guild leaders want certain info, like a member's AFK rate. Now, I will tell you what, Arena of Valor, in my opinion, talking about the AFK rate and the trolling and stuff like that, they have a pretty good system over there. So I'm not going to get into it too much because I'm already way over my time. So go over, check out Arena of Valor's, I forget what it's called. It's like reliability rating or something like that. Number 9, I think that we should have a small constant ping indicator along with the current high ping alert. So also it'd be great if the game could notify. Now I just think you're reaching too much for pings for teammates that are like that's just too much. Too much. Let's focus on what we really want, not all this little itty bitty stuff. That's no. I don't need pings popping up on my screen telling me my teammate's lagging. I don't need it. I'm not going to argue for that. So that's what he came up with. Great list. Some of it I agreed with, some of it I didn't. If you listened, if you liked it, hit me up. Leave comments on YouTube. Hit me up on Twitter, belligerent_VG. Like, comment, subscribe. Find us on iTunes. There is also an app for Android users that can find iTunes podcasts, so you can find us that way. I'll leave those down in the description. I am Belligerent. This was The Q. Peace.